everybody, this is Twigs Greenpage. I'm going to show you the drawing I finished last time. I didn't finish it while we were chatting, but I finished it later. So I just completed the fruit and I added all these. Now I kind of wish I would have done this background color yellow and this cherry yellow different color, but you know, I still think it turned out cute. So that was from the last one. And then I wanted to show, I'll also do like a couple, that was just something I was using for in between page. Some of the other ones I've completed just recently. I did this one. I love the kind of zany look from it. This is from the Halloween Mandalas book. I thought I did another one in here, but now I don't see it. Anyway, today I wanted to do just a color and chat and do a page from the Beatz Farm coloring book, which if you've watched any of my other flip throughs, I actually talk about a little bit. This was done for a local farm in Florida in the city of DeLand, and their information is actually in the back of this book. It tells their little story. But it's a cute little farm, and they're open every weekend for people to come pet the animals, and she makes jams and stuff, and I had fun. Oh, here's one that I completed the other day. It's a peach that she used these peaches for her jams. So she actually sells these books at her farm. Here's some chickens. I love the chickens. I'm trying to decide if I want to do a chicken picture or there's this pig. Pigs are so cute. This one. I think I want to do this one. So I have a tendency to not use exactly realistic colors. I kind of draw like I paint a little bit, which I paint more impressionistic sort of stuff. And I don't know, and I've been thinking about this pig a lot, and I think I'm gonna do pinks, but not necessarily what people would maybe consider realistic pinks, just because that's what I find fun, and maybe a little purple up there. Because whenever there's pink, there should be a little purple. Maybe. We'll set those aside too. I might have to sharpen some stuff as I go. And if so, I'll probably edit out the sharpening, because do you really want to watch me sharpen pencils? All right. Then I'm thinking, well, I might just work on the pig. So we'll see how far I get with that one. And then if we have time for do the background, that might be later. My favorite lately are the Prismacolors. These are Prismacolor Premier. And I've actually had them a long time and haven't used them a lot until recently, until I really started to get into the coloring. Oh, I kind of like this one. They're my favorite just because you can get a nice, solid color like that. Like this has a lot of layers. I like doing lots of layers. You can be more sketchy with it, but then you can also just get nice, deep, rich colors. And I love that. So here's this cute little pig. Where do we start? I normally start with the lighter colors just because you can always go darker, that kind of a thing. Okay. I'll be back in a second. I'm gonna... Okay. Now I'm going to start with this light one, and I'm just going to talk, and hopefully you guys can color along. I think what I'll do is I like to put the picture that I'm coloring up for, oh, it looks like my lead is cracked, so I'll have to be gentle, see how much we can get out of it. I like to put the picture that I'm coloring up for free on Gumroad, just because then if you guys want to color along, you can. The whole book is available on Amazon currently, and I should be getting PDFs up on Gumroad in the future. This kind of doing the color and chats kind of gives me an excuse to get my butt going and actually upload stuff onto Gumroad. So I kind of forget about it and I get lazy about it, which is, you know, typical. So we'll just see this lead is so unhappy. Oh, we're just gonna have to sharpen it again. Okay, we're back. That's better. All right. So I'm just going to tell you about how my week's been going, and tell you about the farm too, because I love animals in general. I think my last color and chat, you learned about all my pets and animals, which I clearly have many. But I was actually looking for a farm when I discovered these people, just to go and you know, check out the animals, and I kind of felt like petting some animals, and this place was great just because it was small, but they had, like, it's very interactive. So they have 2 ponies that you can, like miniature ponies that you can go pet and feed carrots and stuff like that. They have some feed that you can buy for everything, super cheap. They have goats. The goats, of course, like all goats, are always looking for food and very rambunctious and stuff. It was almost sort of scary for goats, but I mean, it's still fun nonetheless. And you can go right in them. It's not even through the... Normally you can only feed stuff through the gates, but the goats, you can actually go right in the field with them. And same with the ponies. And then they have tons of chickens everywhere that are super friendly, and you can feed them too. They're actually really fun to feed. I was surprised. I've always kind of wanted chickens, even though I haven't had a lot of experience with them, but like, they were super friendly, and compared to the goats, not aggressive. And we're more than happy to have you feed them. Then there was some ducks. There was, I think they were even mallard ducks. They were cool. They have a little kiddie pool that they were swimming in, and were super friendly too, just out and about, running around with the chickens. And then they had one big white goose, which is just so cute. It kind of reminded me of like the fairy tales. Kind of reminded me of, like, you know, being on the farm with Cinderella. They're just a small, like, I want to say hobby farm, but I mean, I think this is what they do for their, I don't know what you consider, but just like a small farm, and they grow a bunch of their own food and try to be as self-sustainable as possible. And some of their pigs and such are for eating, which I found out because I'm like, oh, what are their names? And she's like, we don't name the ones that we're going to eat. And I'm like, oh my God, they're so cute. I don't know if that one is one of these or not, but there also had some pet ones too. This one kind of reminds me of Wilbur, which I just find adorable. I'm trying to think what else they had. They also had bunnies, and they actually had a bunch of baby stuff when we were there. Some baby goats had just been born, and they had some baby bunnies. I didn't get to see the baby bunny because the baby bunny was sleeping and kind of hiding out, so I didn't get to see that one. They also had some puppies and some kittens, and they had some baby chicks that were, they were out of the little tiny yellow stage. They were in this kind of like in-between stage, which I'd never actually seen in person before. It was just kind of neat. And she had very unique jams. I had meant to purchase, she had this one made of strawberry, watermelon, and rhubarb. I think it was strawberry, watermelon. I know there was rhubarb and watermelon. So what piqued my interest was the whole watermelon part. I've never had watermelon jam. Like, I wanted to try it so bad. So we also got some blueberry, and I think we got a third one, and now I'm not remembering what it was. So anyway, we get home, and I'm all excited to try my watermelon jam, right? Watermelon, strawberry, rhubarb. And we make some toast, and I put it on the toast, and I take a bite, and lo and behold, it's chocolate-covered strawberry jam, which, for the record, is very good. However, when you are expecting watermelon, strawberry, rhubarb, it is not the same thing. It was very funny. So apparently, we just didn't check the labels well when we were picking out the jams, which is fine. It just gives us a reason to go back. But I think she also has an Etsy shop, and they sell also candles and stuff like that. So it's just pretty cool. If you're into supporting stuff like that, I think it'd be cool to check out their shops and everything. And if you're ever in Florida, to check out the actual farm. It was super cool. So as you can tell, I'm not big on even like staying in the lines and stuff like that. I kind of just go with what I'm feeling. And I'm not like Bob Ross Happy Tree, but you know, kind of. If only I could come up with my own term like that, that'd be fabulous. So anyway, I'm trying to think. It has been kind of a crazy week here. So I've been looking for a new car, which anybody go car shopping, it's just like stressful, especially when you need a car and it's not so much that you just want a new car. And then in the midst of that, my daughter needed a new car, and thankfully, today she found one, and it worked out fantabulous, and she's happy, so I'm really proud of her. Her and her fiance bought their first, like, you know, adult purchase in this car, so I'm super excited for her. Hopefully this will just get her through while she's in school, which is the whole point. So that's super exciting. I'm still working on getting mine. It's so hard. I actually, I use a wheelchair, so I have to get a ramp fan, which they're not the easiest things to shop for, because it's hard to know, you know, what the car is valued compared to the conversion is valued. It's just such a pain. I will be very excited, though, when I figure it out. So that's a lot of what my week has been monopolized by. And I've also got out I'm trying to get as many books as I can out before people start Christmas shopping and stuff. And I have so many ideas in my head. So it's hard to create as fast as my mind comes up with the ideas and then stick with it, and you know, creative minds wander and, dare I say, get bored sometimes, so we're kind of flighty and all over the place. But I just actually released 2 new books this week. I don't even have copies of them yet myself. It always takes a little longer for me to get author copies, but they're on Amazon right now. One of them is a pattern book, just nothing's in it but patterns, which I think is like a cool concept for a couple different reasons. But some people just like the repetitiveness, and it's kind of easy to sit and just start coloring, and you can kind of zone out when you have something straightforward like that, and you pick a couple colors for the different pieces of the pattern, and it's kind of like color, repeat, and I think that can be very calming for some people. And some days I actually love that, when I really just want to shut off my brain. Otherwise, like something like this I like, because I get to experiment more with the colors and get a little crazy, and I just kind of color whatever strikes my fancy. So that one is called Pretty Patterns Adult Coloring Book, and that's on Amazon. And if you just search Twigs Greenpage on Amazon, you'll be able to find a bunch of different stuff. Like, I have a bunch of coloring books, and then I also have journals and notebooks, and some other things that you'll come across, but you'll definitely find the coloring books. And then the other one was called, now I'm trying to remember the name of my own book that I put out. I think it's called Mandala Doodles or Doodles Mandala. That's horrible. I don't even remember. I feel like that's just a testament to my age at this point. I can't remember what I did yesterday. I will make sure to have correct links and titles in the description. So, forgive me. So this guy's looking a little Pepto-Bismol. I think we got to get a little more. Yeah, this color pink might be a little better. I don't want him to remind people of a stomach ache. And I also love the sound that pencils make when you're coloring. It sort of creates this like white noise type of a thing, which I'm a fan of. And I think I will put a copy of this up for you guys to color along if you want. And I would love to see what you guys do with your stuff. I also have a Facebook coloring group that I started not long ago that I would love for people to post their interpretations of some of my stuff. And I mean, you're welcome to post anything that you color. It doesn't just have to be from me. That's called Color Addicts by Twigs Greenpage. I'll also put the link for that in the description. And that's something I just started, so I don't have many people in there yet, so we would love to have some more colorists in there posting their stuff. I just want like a fun community where everybody can just share, like other artists can come in there and share too. I don't mind anything like that. I've always been part of these artistic communities that are very supportive of each other, and I think that is so cool. Like, we're all doing the same thing, but we're all doing different things. I think there's room for everybody, just in all forms of art. Before I was doing the coloring books, I was really into resin art, and I had to kind of pull back on that. First of all, because of the weather. I'm in Florida, and it got too hot for me to be out in the garage during the summer, so I'll be able to go back in pretty soon. It's getting, well, it's not actually getting cooler, but pretty soon it will get cooler, and then I'll be able to go back out there at least at night and start pouring some more resin and doing some stuff with that. But there was such a cool and welcoming group of people, and they're still that way, on Instagram that you could find, and everybody was so welcoming and wasn't worried about like sharing, you know, techniques or that people were gonna steal stuff from them. I know that seems to be a common worry in the coloring book community, which, I mean, not that it's not valid. I realize that we have a lot of people out there stealing designs and stuff like that, but I don't know. I try not to really worry about that. Like, I mean, I try to protect my stuff as much as I can, but in the same breath, I'm like, we all get inspired by each other, and there are no completely original ideas as far as I'm concerned anymore. It all comes from somewhere, whether it's other coloring book people or just other artists and other, you know, other mediums and stuff. And even the way I do some of my books, I'm a much more sketchy kind of an artist, and I think that comes through in a lot of my books just because that's what I enjoy. Now, is that for everybody? Absolutely not. There are going to be people that are like, you know, that's too rough and I want nice, perfect straight lines, and that's fine. And there's plenty of people out there that do that, and that's awesome for them. But that's just not what I personally find. I like the interest that the crazier lines create and stuff like that. Trying to get, oops. I might even have to get like more purpley to get some good contrast going in some of the darker areas. So that's really what my week has been occupied with, is trying to get some books out and trying to find a car. And so much. I've actually been coloring a lot this week. Not on film, but just in general, because it really does help chill me out a lot and just relax and just go where it takes me. I want to be like my happy trees, but I don't have any happy trees. I have a little happy pig. There was a time that I totally wanted a pet pig. Like everybody talks about like the mini potbelly pigs, right? Then I started doing some research on that. Well, it turns out that a mini potbelly pig doesn't stay that small. Not what I would call, you know, like when they talk about like teacup Yorkies and stuff like that, like they stay small. Well, in my mind, I thought that's how the pigs were. This is not the case. So I can't remember the exact numbers as far as like poundage and stuff go, but like a mini potbelly pig was still like 50 or 60 pounds or something. They're not tiny. After I discovered that, I kind of lost the urge to have one. Not that they're not, I'm sure they're super cool pets, and anybody that has one, I'd love to hear about it. Just like space-wise and everything, we have so many dogs and what have you. I was hoping that they would be tiny and I could kind of sneak one in and maybe, you know, the husband wouldn't so much notice that there was another living creature in the house. But he's going to notice a lot, you know, a 60-pound animal. So I had to kind of abandon that idea for a little bit. I was like, why can't you just stay like 15 pounds? It'd be so cute. Or like one of those little fainting ghosts. Or fainting goats. Those always look so cute to me. They bounce off everything and just, I don't know, so adorable. They always sounded like a fun, maybe help with my lawn a little bit. I don't know. Do they really eat that much grass? I don't really even know that much about goats. So this is what I love about Prismas. You can just layer and layer, and it'll change the tint and the tone and get more solid looking and less like, I don't even know what you call that quality, like that pastel-y faint quality. I actually have these blender Prisma pencils. I haven't even tried them yet. I usually just pick other colors and start blending with that, you know. I'm not sure. This is a pretty dark. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. So what I'm really looking forward to is for fall to actually get here. I'm originally from up north, and these non-existent Florida seasons are just, oh my God, they're causing me stress, honestly. It's like everybody's like, oh, don't you love, you know, 85 and sunny every day? And it's like, first of all, it's not just 85. Like today, I think it may have actually been 85, but so many days it's, you know, 95 and humid and disgusting. And you go outside and you try to get in your car, which is way hotter than that, and you like sweat to death and you haven't even got the car turned on yet. No, I don't like that. Like, that doesn't seem fun to me. It seemed fun when I moved here 9 years ago, and I thought it was going to be like, I thought it was just going to be different. I had a different expectation. But I can say that it is not my favorite thing. Like, if you enjoy the heat and like being in the heat, you will absolutely love it here. And I thought I was so sick of the snow from up north that that's exactly how I feel. And I did for a minute. It did not stick, however. Now I'm like, I can't wait until we can get somewhere cooler. But we got a few more years to even think about that because the kids are in school and stuff like that. Or I would like run away to the mountains tomorrow. That's where I would like to end up someday. So if there's anybody out there that lives near some mountains, you let me know how it is. Like, I'm thinking North Carolina, Tennessee. I don't know, we've even like thought about Seattle but we've never even been there. I've never been there. But it just, everything looks so green and lush and pretty, and you have seasons. I kind of like the idea of parts of Tennessee because you actually have a chance to get a little snow, but not we're not talking Wisconsin snow. Like, I don't want that, because that's like, we went to visit and it was 14 below and wind chill. I'm like, oh yeah, now I remember why I wanted to get out of here. I don't know. I'm looking for that perfect combination of seasons and people. I want nice people. And we're artists, so it would be cool if there was a cool art community. I'd love to do more painting outside and stuff like that. I used to do a lot more plein air painting. But it's like impossible to do here because it's so hot most of the time. Like, I can't take it. But I'd love to get more into that again. I mean, just like even taking my coloring books outside and on the patio. Now, come winter here, I'll be able to do that, which will be nice. I should try to do some color and chats like outside once it actually gets to that temperature, and it lasts like, I'll probably have a window of maybe a month to make that happen, but that would be fun. We have a pretty lake out back that's like, it's super pretty, which is another kind of funny thing. Up north, if you live on a lake, you're in that lake all the time. You're swimming, you're, boating, fishing, skiing, what have you. Here, now there are people that fish all the time, and there are a bunch of people that water ski and tube and stuff. There are some daring people that go swimming, but from what I understand, that is not an acceptable thing down here in Florida because you're so worried about the gators. Although from my understanding as well, and I am not an expert nor a native of here, I mean, they're scared of you too. Like, they're not going to come like hunt you. If you're feeding them or you get between, their babies and stuff like that, then you'll have an issue. But otherwise, I'm like, I don't think they're going to bother me. We also have some otters. I never get to see them. I've only seen them twice in 2 years. I'm never looking out the window at the right time. But I thought that was super cool to have otters. I'm like, before this, like, I only saw an otter, at the zoo. So clearly, as I color this pig, all I can think about is animals. I was absolutely one of those children that wanted to always bring home all the pretty creatures that I found. I remember when I was young, well, I half memories of it at any rate. That I don't know how we managed to do it, but my brother and I have this memory. He'll probably watch this and be like, "You made that up." I have this memory of us catching a little bunny rabbit in our yard with like a fishing net. I swear this happened. And I swear I put it like in a box and brought it in and was like, you know, Mom, Dad, I want to keep this bunny. And then I remember it just kind of disappearing and then being like, oh, it got away. Yeah, I'm sure it got away when they let it out, but... So I would have loved to grow up on a farm, although I did not. There are other things in Wisconsin other than farms, believe it or not. Although we have many of those. It's kind of funny. Like, I don't feel like I've been here 9 years now. It'll be, well, 9.5 years or so. And I don't think I'll ever consider myself a Floridian. I don't know if there's a timeline for that. I feel like most people here aren't actual Floridians, so most of them are from somewhere else. I don't know if I'll ever really consider myself a Floridian. I'm always going to feel like I'm from Wisconsin, you know. I'm just a Wisconsin girl, stuck in the sunshine. So this is one thing that I like to do, which I'm assuming is something that the blending pencil does, so I'll actually have to pull it out and sharpen them and give them a shot. But I like to go over some of the bright colors with one of the lighter ones, and it blends everything together. And kind of tones it down a little bit. Get rid of my schnibbles. So I don't know, I think he's looking kind of cute. My little Wilbur. We'll just call him Wilbur. Yeah. Yeah, I like the blendy. But also, like, there's always such a big controversy about the different types of pencils and stuff like that. Man, work with whatever you got, whatever you can afford. Just color. You know, you give me a box of crayons and I'm gonna still come up with something cool. Like, you can do a lot of cool things with actually just crayons. So I don't judge anybody's medium as far as that goes. Also, something I've been playing with a lot lately is watercolor pencils. I can't get enough of those. And then I have these markers that I use. I don't actually use a brush. Some people use the brush. I'm always afraid that I'm going to ruin the paper with these, because these aren't watercolor paper, you know, pages or anything. But I love those markers, which I started doing that when I used to scrapbook, is just do the watercolor pencils to do stamps and color them in kind of funky. Which is something that I also like, the concept of coloring, is that you can take these images that you make in any of these books and then use them for other projects. You can make cards, you can make, you know, collages. I'm trying to decide if this is a little pig hair. I think it's a little pig hair. I have visions of these like cool, what do they call it? Shadow boxes with collages in them and embellishments for like scrapbooking and stuff. I wanted to try that. sort of brown-ish color. I want to do the eyes. So I just take all my pencils. I don't keep anything in the original cases because it's just, I don't know. I'm not capable of keeping them organized that way. So I like to take them all out and I rubber band them in color groups. And I have this cute little suitcase that I keep them in. And I have all of the ones I use anyway at the moment, my Prismas, my watercolor pencils, and my markers in one thing. And then I have them just grouped kind of like all the browns, all the yellows, all the pinks separately. Just because that's how I like to do it. I'm always curious on how people organize their art supplies. Everybody has such a different take on it. I mean, you got to do with whatever makes sense to you. This is just what makes sense to me. My little pig. I think I want to bring some like violet-y colors up in here. Yeah, that looks kind of neat. I have a hard time coloring anything with just the color it's supposed to be. Like, it seems less interesting to me for my eye. So I always have to add in some, and some people won't even pick up on it, but because your eye blends it all anyway, but I just find it so much more interesting. Just a little faint. Yeah. This ear needs something interesting too. I'm not sure what yet. And what I also like about a bunch of my books is that I think, anyway, that they will work for both adults and kids. Just kind of depends how you choose to color them more than anything. I don't know. I think this is all I'm going to do for the time being on the pig on my little Wilbur. I'll work on the background maybe in another one, or I'll finish it and show it to you next time. So I'll be sure to put tags in the bottom for where you can find everything. And I hope you guys enjoyed coloring. And I would love to see what you've been coloring while I've been doing this. So please feel free to come join the coloring group on Facebook, Color Addicts, and show me what you were doing while I was doing this. I also kind of like leaving the pencil marks in there, like that. I think that adds something to it a little bit. A little texture type of a thing. All right, so here is my Wilbur pig. Thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you soon. And remember to create a colorful life.